I'm doing my funeral blog, and this is the first one of what I hope to be many stories about funerals that I share with you. And the one thing that seems to be on my mind this week is death in threes. That's the story I want to talk about. Now, I warn you, these are sad stories, unfortunately, but they're beautiful stories, and I wanted to share them with you. So last week, my mom actually went to 3 funerals, which I thought was really interesting. You know, it's bad enough to go to one, but she actually knew 3 different people who died. It's like one happens, and then right behind that another one, and then another one. And this theme of death in threes, it kind of keeps coming up, you know, and you see it in history and online and everything. And so I was just kind of thinking about that, like why does that happen, you know? And while I'm thinking about that, thinking about doing this blog, today I was hit with another death in threes that actually affected me or came into my life directly. So I thought I'd share it with you. We'll just see what happens. So anyway, the first person who died actually last Thursday, a security guard at work, an older gentleman. He actually passed away while he was riding the bus home from work. The bus driver thought that he was asleep, so he just went to the back of the bus to wake him up, and he actually had passed away of a heart attack. So that was pretty sad. He was a sweet, sweet man. I didn't know him very well, but some of the people around me did, and they said that he actually played tennis all the time. And I don't know, there was just something very poetic about the way that he died, I thought, you know, in the back of the bus. He just closed his eyes and fell asleep. I thought it was kind of beautiful. And then this morning, another coworker was telling me that her boss's grandmother was about to pass away. Actually, it turns out her boss had purchased a trip for her mom and her grandmother to go to Hawaii. And I guess her grandma was having the time of her life. She said that when she talked to her grandma, she'd never heard her so happy. And then she fell while she was in Hawaii, and she went into a coma. And they decided that they were going to have to take her off life support. So she hadn't passed away yet, but they were anticipating that that was about to happen. And it's kind of funny because the first thing that pops into my mind is, oh, who's going to be next? You know, it always comes in threes. And I actually thought that. So then when I got the email that told me who the third death was, I actually wasn't that surprised. Well, I was surprised by the death, but not like, I was like, well, yeah, I knew it was going to happen. So I got this email telling me that this actor guy who I knew had passed away yesterday. His name was Bobby Spillane, and this was a big story. I told this story to my mom, and she even already knew about it. She said she saw in the newspaper. This guy, he is the son of a mob boss in Hell's Kitchen, right? And he wrote a one-man show about his experience growing up the son of a mobster, and he sounds like he was a really great guy, and he did his one-man show last year in a theater festival that I produced for one-person shows, co-produced it with another theater company that I work with. And so anyway, he did his show. Colin Quinn directed it. It was a sold-out show, and yesterday, I guess, he fell out of a window. He was leaning against the window to talk to his brother who was down below, and they said the screen popped out and he fell to the ground. So anyway, he passed away. So now I'm like, okay, now I really have to talk about death in threes, right? You know, death happens in threes all the time, and I don't know why that is, but they tell that if there are laws of the universe that you don't know how to explain, that you just have to experience them in order to believe. And for some reason I've experienced this idea of death in threes several times. So I started thinking about, I remember when Michael Jackson died, right? And Farrah Fawcett died, and then Ed McMahon died, and it's like we had this cacophony of people who died, you know. It's like Farrah Fawcett led her own life, her own beautiful life, and had a wonderful story of her own, but she was paired on 60 Minutes. It was the story of Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett. And of course Ed McMahon died the same week. And then I was looking online, and did you know that Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison all died during the same week? And then a couple months ago when Lena Horne passed away, they were talking about how her son died. Well, actually, I guess her husband died first, and then her son, and then her dad passed away, all within a month of each other, and she still triumphed and went on to lead this amazing career and died. She was like 92 when she died or something like that. So I was trying to Google it to figure out, you know, what the significance of the number 3 is. And I know comedy jokes happen in threes, right? And Christ rose from the dead in 3 days. So I was trying to figure out, what did Jesus do? You know, he was laying in that tomb for 3 days, and he just decided to play a cruel joke on us and make everything happen in threes. I don't know. But if you guys have any ideas, let me know. If you have any thoughts about this, I'd love to hear it. You can comment on my blog, and I hope to have many more of these come out soon. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.